First, let me say, I know a lot of people say, oh, ignore the haters, don't feed the trolls. But I have to at least vocalize this out loud because it's just been bothering the hell out of me all week. Because I left a comment on another video that was talking about, like, depression and how music affects it. And not to, completely ignore science, but I felt the need to dispute the video just because, from my personal experience, the exact opposite. But and for the most part, all the comments were supportive and understanding because everyone else was like, yeah, I'm the exact same way. And then, 2 weeks later, one person felt the need to comment. I don't know if this is an exact quote, but basically it was just, why did you say when? That shows that you're not really depressed, you're just sad. Get over yourself and stop looking for pity on the internet. I could dissect every single thing that's wrong with that entire argument, but let me just say the one most important part is the fact that he thought that because I said when, that it means I'm not actually depressed, which means you don't actually understand how depression works. Because depression doesn't mean you're never capable of smiling, that you're never capable of experiencing happiness. First of all, depression and almost all mental illnesses really, they exist on a spectrum. And depression especially, it's one of those things that some people, you have a minor form of it where 362 days a year, you're perfectly fine. But then there are those 3 days a year where you just wake up in the morning and you just can't find the will to just do anything, to live. You can't find a reason to actually get up. It's just like, why bother showering? I'm just gonna get dirty again, kind of things like that. But yeah, it legitimately varies. Many people can be diagnosed with depression and still function normally in life, still laugh about things. It comes in different levels. There are some people that they'll have 2 or 3 bad days a year, but the rest of the time they're normal. And there are people that if they don't take pills and medication for it, they won't have a single happy day ever. But that's not the normal. I mean, it varies from person to person. I needed to say that. That person probably never gonna see this video, and even if they did, it's very possible to just be some just ignorant idiot who just they've have their opinion and that's the truth. Why use logic when I can use my opinions as facts? That's what the shirt says, right? Whatever. That was just bothering me. But yeah. Once again, I don't want to feed the trolls, but I just had to get that off my chest because that's just wrong. That you can be that upset by one word, and maybe I could have possibly rephrased it better. I'll give you that much, but no, depression does not automatically mean that you are never allowed to experience happiness. It just means it's harder for you than it is for other people who aren't suffering from it. Now, I don't even know if I phrased that right. It's hard for there's the reason I'm a writer. I always do better when I have time to edit myself and then come back to something. Sorry, there was something on the screen bugging me. And, yeah, anyways, this week has been hell. This week has been hell for multiple reasons. It was weird because the first 3 days, I still did the grind, 8-hour day, no problem. But it was long and boring. It was still the same length of time, but a hell of a lot less work. So on the one hand, yay, same money, not same effort. I like that. But on the other hand, there were times when I was feeling, I don't even need to be here, do I? Not really. Can't you guys just handle this on your own and let me go home and do something else? But then Friday and Saturday, it gets to hell again, especially Saturday, which is today. I got home at 2:30 in the morning after an 11-hour day, and I need a drink, but I can't get up to get one because I'm naked. I'll be right back. Just gotta scooch. Don't worry, I'm still here. Don't turn off your computer. Don't press pause. Don't stop the video. I'm still here. Just gotta get me some liquid hydration. I mean, what else would you hydrate with other than a liquid? So yeah, this week is just hell for all the worst reasons, because I'm not really even sure which part to be madder about. Because on the one hand, those long, slow days, it's like I don't feel like I need to be here, and it's frustrating. But on the other hand, there's those long, busy days where I literally don't even have a single second to myself, don't get a single break, and it's just exhausting. I don't know. It's just been a bad week. I'm looking forward to some time off. Thinking of doing some volunteer work. My boss actually propositioned me. He was talking about some charity, about teaching like underprivileged kids or whatever to help young kids learn to read, which I actually turned him down flat off the bat. But that's only because he asked at the wrong time. Like, he has the worst timing. He literally always picks that moment where, oh, it's the middle of the busiest day we're going to have this month, and I've got dishes overflowing. They're piled up in the sink. They're piled up on the floor. Every single chair in the dining room has a buttocks in it. And now you choose to ask me to do volunteer work. Yeah, I was very dismissive of him at the time, but after thinking about it, I don't think it would be the worst thing to take a couple of hours out of one of my off days, help out some. It's a good thing to do. I don't know if I talked about it on here. Like, I don't feel the need to go out of my way to say this because I don't want to brag about it. But I started in January donating to Texas foster care. Just, a little bit out of every paycheck. Hopefully, I mean, it adds up. It's going to add up to a few hundred for the year. I'm hoping that it's true when they say, oh, every cent counts. Because, I am in the middle of trying to start my own business. I don't have a fuck ton to give away. But I feel like I am getting to that point where I feel like I need to start doing my part to help making the world a better place. And I think for me, the thing that's closest to my heart is making the world an easier place for the next generation, for the people who come after us, making sure that they have a better path towards a bright future. Yeah, the causes I care most about are education and adoption and foster care. So he was actually right to bring it to me, and I'm actually, once I've had time to settle down, I'm going to go talk to him about it again. So who knows where that's going to go. Oh, something interesting that's happened these past couple of weeks? I haven't actually been to a movie theater since the Tupac movie, All Eyes on Me. And, I don't know, it's just one of those things that all these movies were coming out, and I wanted to see all of them. But I always had an excuse not to. But recently, this past couple weeks, I started watching some because the Infinity Wars trailer dropped, so I started finding and watching. I caught up. I'm not entirely caught up on the MCU. Still haven't seen the Doctor Strange movie or the Ant-Man movie. I honestly have no plans to ever watch the Ant-Man movie. Might check out Doctor Strange, maybe. It actually seems interesting from what little I've seen of the character so far. because I did see he did make an appearance in Thor Ragnarok, which I just saw on Monday. And I also saw Spider-Man: Homecoming, and you know what? Both of those movies pretty decent. Homecoming, I knew it would be good. It has lots of flaws in the storytelling, but overall, like for me, the most important thing with the movie isn't necessarily that it's the most well-made movie ever, but that you just enjoy watching it. Even if the movie sucks, if you liked watching it, if you had fun just sitting there staring at your screen, that makes it a good movie. I mean, that's my opinion at least. But yeah, so Spider-Man and Thor were both pretty good. Thor was, it was incredibly funny. It had some good action sequences. It was, yeah, it might be one of my favorite MCU movies now. Spider-Man: Homecoming. It may not be the most well-told story, but I'll stick by what I said about Tom Holland after Civil War. He might be the best Spider-Man ever. The kid did a great job with it. Though, you know what? Donald Glover was the best thing about that entire movie. If someone had told me he was in it, I probably would have watched it much sooner. Cause like he had that best scene, the best scene. Like, can I give you some advice? You got to get better at this part of the job. Like, I don't know why. It doesn't. You can kind of make the argument that it doesn't even really feel like he's acting in that scene, but that's probably the best thing about it, though, too. It seems so natural. I feel like because I can't even just recount the scene without breaking into laughter. Anyways, I also saw Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and let me be clear. I think Rogue One is the only Star Wars movie that I watched not knowing what to expect. And I've heard people say it's like honestly, I'm not a huge Star Wars person. Like, I saw the original trilogy and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I actually liked the prequels better. That being said, like episode 1 came out when I was 6 or 7. And to be fair, Darth Maul is a badass. He was the favorite part of that movie for me. But so yeah, I actually liked the prequels until about episode 3 came out, and that wasn't because I started hating episode 3 or whatever. It's just that by then I'd grown, and my brain was now fully developed enough that I could see that all of these sucked. But I'm still thankful that the prequel trilogy was made, because it helped me appreciate how the original a lot more. The storytelling of it and the character of Anakin. I think it definitely could have been handled better, the prequels. I feel like Hayden Christensen, I don't know. I think he has enough potential as an actor if they had a better director attached to it, maybe a better script, and some better supporting cast. He probably could have done a half-decent job. But yeah, I wasn't I wasn't waiting in anticipation for the new trilogy. But someone spoiled Han in part 1, and part 7, and I was like, really? I guess I want to see that. And I ended up loving it. It was great. And then I saw Rogue One, loved it. It was great. And then this movie got so much hatred from the very beginning, which kind of made me want to see it, to be like, wow, why do they hate it? Honestly, I just can't understand why. I've heard it's so divisive. Some people love it. It's the best ever. Some people hate it. It's the worst ever. It's worse than episode 1. Let's just pretend this doesn't exist. I've heard the entire range of arguments, and I legitimately don't understand the hatred. I don't. I watched this movie and I had little to no complaints about it at all. I thought The Last Jedi was the perfect addition to the Star Wars franchise. And you see, I mean, Han was killed off. Luke dies in this one. Leia, she didn't actually die, but unfortunately, we all know what happened with Carrie Fisher in real life, so she's not going to be in Part 9. I'm not sure. Like, I don't really have a lot of positive feelings towards Ron Howard, so I'm definitely not really, like, dizzy with anticipation about Episode 9. But I like the direction that they're going. I like that they're basically... This trilogy is basically taking 3 movies to reboot the franchise. We're going off in a different, separate direction. Like, I loved everything about it. Really, I did. And even having and that's the best part, that I had the entire movie spoiled for me. There was nothing in there that was like, shock value. And yet, it was still enjoyable. Because for me, that's one of the hardest things. I don't like rewatching movies. That's how you can tell a movie is amazing, when you're willing to see it again and again and again. Like, in recent years, the only ones I can think of that, if I see a movie in theaters, that's it, I'm done. I'm not going back to the theater again. The only brand new movies I've seen more than once, well, I know the last ones were Straight Outta Compton and, what's the other one? Deadpool. Like, those two, I saw them twice in theaters. And then I haven't seen them since. No, I saw Straight Outta Compton because I was hanging with a friend who hadn't seen it. And I was like, it's awesome, watch it. But, yeah, that's just... Well, Sausage Party, same thing. I saw it once in theaters, and then when it hit streaming, someone hadn't seen it, and I was like, watch it. But yeah, other than that, for me, once you know what's going to happen, like, it ruins half the magic. But honestly, like, I know everyone's gonna disagree with this, but I feel like Episode 8 might be the best Star Wars ever. That's just me, though. That's coming from someone who has no actual investment in the franchise. Like, but I feel like if you would... No, that's stupid. I was gonna say that if you started from 8, maybe I'd be as big a Star Wars fan as some of the others out there. But I feel like, no, the story wouldn't make that much sense. Anyways, I've been talking way too damn long. It's already 3 o'clock. I'm gonna turn off this camera. See, I'm so tired I forgot the word. Good night, everybody!